welcome to Midday Update. Coming up are the headlines for the day. New species of fish documented in Oman. 20 infiltrators arrested for entering Oman illegally. Expat contestants at OCCI elections to focus on attracting FDI and jobs for Omani youth. Odisha, Sudarshan Patnaik creates FIFA World Cup trophy sand art. US must not tolerate hate, says President Biden after Colorado club shooting. COP27, India welcomes loss and damage fund, says world has waited far too long for this. England has questions to answer while facing Iran in Qatar 2022. 4 things to look out for on Monday at World Cup finals. Those were the headlines. Now for the local stories for the day. A new type of wetland fish was discovered in Khoriyati in the Vilayat of Muscat. Oman News Agency reported that a new species of wetland fish has been recorded in the Sultanate of Oman, discovered by a joint research team between the Sultan Qaboos University and the Iranian Shiraz University in the shallow muddy waters of Khoriyati in the Vilayat of Muscat. The Royal Oman Police has arrested 20 foreigners for entering the Sultanate of Oman illegally. Coast Guard police boats in North Al-Batana Governorate arrested 20 infiltrators of Asian nationality on board a smuggling boat. The legal procedures are being completed against them, ROP said in a statement. Attracting foreign investors and creating employment for Omani youth are among the major goals for the expatriate contestants, as 9 of them vie for the single seat in the Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry elections on Tuesday. This is for the first time in OCCI's history that an expatriate will be on the 21-member board. The 9 in fray are Ahmed Ibrahim Khalusi, Ahmed Subhani, Amir Tawqir Mudhar, Ahmed Mohammad Reza, Ibrahim Raju Thanan Gadan, Abdul Latif, Abdul Hakim Walantara Mohammed, Muhammad Ahmed Al Sharkawi, and Yogendra Singh Katiyar. The elections will witness a total of 122 candidates in the fray for seats across the 11 governorates. A total of 14,977 voters will cast their votes on Tuesday to select the 21 members of the OCCI board for 2022-2026. The board of directors will consist of 5 members from the Muscat Governorate, 10 chairmen of the boards of directors of the branches, 5 members representing the companies listed on the Muscat Stock Exchange, and 1 member who will represent foreign investors. Voting will be held at key venues and include Oman Convention and Exhibition Centre in the Governorate of Muscat, Sultan Qaboos Complex for Culture and Entertainment in Dhofar, and the OCCI's headquarters in the vilayats of Khasab and Dibba in the Musandam Governorate, while the OCCI branches will be the centres in other vilayats. Those are the local stories. We'll take a short break and we'll be back with international news. Stay tuned.
We play, you listen.
You talk, we listen.
You got something to say? We want to hear it.
95.4 in Muscat.
And 91 in Salalah.
Music, news, views, and everything in between.
TFM.
TFM.
Let's talk.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
Welcome back to Midday Update. Now for the international stories. World-renowned sand artist Sudarshan Patnaik created a replica of the FIFA World Cup trophy using sand to commemorate the football mega event and wish the participating teams good luck at a Puri beach in Odisha. The World Cup trophy replica stands at a height of 8 feet and also features 1,350 coins collected from the countries of the 32 teams participating in the football extravaganza. Indian coins have also been used along with other country coins to make the trophy replica. The message at the bottom of the trophy replica reads "Good luck," which is for the teams participating in the tournament. Patnaik always tries to do something new in sand art. This time he created an 8 feet high sand sculpture of the trophy by using around 5 tons of sand, and at the backdrop of the trophy he created a football. He said that he had collected these coins during his participation in different sand art competitions worldwide. Patnaik is a Padma Awardee artist who has participated in more than 60 international sand art festivals and competitions around the world and won many prizes for our country. US President Joe Biden on Sunday local time said that the US cannot and must not tolerate hate, hours after at least 5 people were killed and 18 injured in a mass shooting at a nightclub in Colorado. In a statement on Twitter, Biden said the following: "We must address the public health epidemic of gun violence in all forms. I signed the most significant gun safety law in nearly 3 decades, but we must do more." The police said heroics clubgoers fought and stopped a gunman shortly after he opened fire. At least 2 people inside the club confronted and fought the gunman and prevented further violence, said Colorado Springs Police Chief Adrian Vasquez. "We owe them a great debt of thanks," he said. Police identified the suspect as Anderson Lee Aldrich, a 22-year-old man who shot at patrons with a long rifle, a powerful weapon that can inflict devastating wounds. He was taken into police custody shortly after the shooting began and was being treated for injuries, according to officials. The violence lasted just minutes. Police received numerous 911 calls starting at 11:56 p.m. local time. Officers were dispatched at 11:57 p.m. An officer arrived at midnight and the suspect was detained at 12:02 a.m., police said. A total of 39 patrol officers responded, police said, and Fire Department Captain Mike Smaldino said 11 ambulances went to the scene, sources reported. Union Minister for Environment, Forest and Climate Change Bhupendra Yadav called COP27 a historic COP, adding that the world has waited far too long for the Loss and Damage Fund agreement. The minister was speaking at the closing plenary of the United Nations Climate Change Conference, or COP27, held at Sharm el-Sheikh. In his remarks at the closing session of the COP27, Yadav welcomed the transition to a sustainable lifestyle and sustainable patterns of consumption. He stated that India welcomes efforts to address climate change. Addressing the Egyptian presidency, Bhupendra Yadav called it a historic COP where an agreement was made for a loss and damage funding arrangement. He noted that the world has waited far too long for the loss and damage funding agreement. He further said, "We note that we are establishing a 4-year work program on climate action, agriculture and food security. Agriculture, the mainstay of livelihood for millions of smallholders of farmers, will be hard hit by climate change. So we should not burden them with mitigating responsibilities." Yadav noted that India has kept mitigation in agriculture out of its NDCs. He announced that India is creating a work program on just transition. Highlighting the importance of just transition, Union Minister for Agriculture said the following: "For most developing countries, just transition cannot be equated with decarbonization but with low carbon development." In his remarks at the closing session of the COP27, Bhupendra Yadav said the following: "Developing countries need independence in their choice of the energy mix and in achieving the SDGs. Developed countries taking the lead in climate action is therefore a very important aspect of the global just transition." Earlier, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres welcomed the decision to establish a loss and damage fund. In a video message to the 27th meeting of the Conference of Parties in the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change, Guterres called the creation of a loss and damage fund an important step towards justice. On Sunday, the delegates at the COP27 agreed for establishing the Loss and Damage Fund. The Loss and Damage Fund will help to make up for losses suffered by developing nations that are vulnerable to climate change. Those are the international stories. We'll take a short break and we'll be back with sports news. Stay tuned.
Play, you listen.
You talk, we listen.
You got something to say? We want to hear it.
95.4 in Muscat.
And 91 in Salalah.
Music, news, views, and everything in between.
TFM.
TFM.
Let's talk.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
Welcome back to Midday Update. Now for the sports news. England kicks off its World Cup campaign against Iran on Monday in a game that will hopefully answer several questions about Gareth Southgate's side and also show us just how good Iran is. England breezed through qualifying for Qatar, scoring 39 goals and conceding just 3 in a relatively straightforward qualifying group. They also finished as runner-up in the 2021 European Championship after reaching the semi-finals of the World Cup in Russia 4 years ago. However, they came to Doha without a win since March after a run of 3 draws and 3 defeats, 2 of those against Hungary in their last 6 matches. Those games saw Southgate chop and change his lineups and formations, switching from a back four to three central defenders. It would be a big error to underestimate Iran, who once again has experienced Carlos Queiroz at the helm following his recent success with Egypt. Queiroz replaces Dragan Skobik, who was ruthlessly sacked after he guided Iran through qualifying with 8 wins from 10 matches. England's big question marks are in defence and with Sardar Azmoun, who has scored 40 goals in 63 games, being a threat, although he was struggled for form with Bayern Leverkusen recently. Meanwhile, Mehdi Taremi has 13 goals in 19 games for Porto this season, including 5 in the Champions League, and is another player who will have to be watched very closely. The 4 p.m. kickoff time may also favour the Iranians, with temperature close to 30 degrees at the hottest part of the day in the Khalifa International Stadium. The World Cup gets into full swing on Monday with 2 games from Group B, while the Netherlands faces Senegal in Group A. Here are some things to look out for. The question is, will the real England stand up? The summer of 2021 saw Gareth Southgate's England side lose the final of the European Championship on penalties to Italy. But rather than continue their progress, the last 15 months have seen them lose their way, and they arrive in Qatar without a win in the last 6 games and the last triumph back in March. Unlike many sides, England has not played a warm-up game ahead of Monday's opener against Iran, and although Southgate insists that tiredness was mainly to blame for recent results, the question remains, which England will be seen, that of the European Championship or that of the last year? The next question, the old guard for England or new blood? One of the big questions over Southgate's team selection is whether or not he will keep faith in his old guard of Harry Maguire and Kyle Walker in defence. Maguire has been a linchpin for Southgate, but a loss of form has seen him make just 1 Premier League start since August for Manchester United, while Walker hasn't played since a groin operation at the start of October. Playing both defenders would be a huge risk for Southgate against an Iran side that is very capable of causing an upset, but will the coach abandon his trusted players to give a chance to the informed Ben White, or could he offer a flat back 4 with Eric Dier and John Stones in central defence? Another question, expect passion as Wales returns to world stage. Wales returns to the World Cup for the first time in 64 years when they face the USA in their Group B opener, and Qatar will see one of the most passionate sets of fans in the tournaments as the Welsh continue their heroes back after beating Austria and Ukraine in the playoffs. Welsh coach Rob Page will stick with 3-4-3 formation with Gareth Bale, who has less than an hour of football in his legs, leading the attack in which could be a contest of experience against youth. USA coach Greg Berhalter will probably play a 4-3-3 with players such as Jonas Musa, Christian Pulisic and Gioriana in his side, and the Americans will look to test the Welsh with their pace and energy, although this is a side that looks to still be under construction and could be a better bet when the World Cup is played in their home soil in 2026. Senegal needs to overcome main loss against Netherlands. On paper, the Netherlands looks to be favourites to win Group A ahead of Qatar, Ecuador and Tuesday's rival Senegal. Usually, Senegal and Ecuador could be expected to battle it out for second place in the group, but with the hosts normally doing well in World Cups, qualification will be tougher this time. Senegal suffered a huge loss when star player Sadio Mane was forced to withdraw through injury earlier this week, and LEC says men need to ensure that loss does not affect their morale. Although there is no main players such as Boladia and the lightning-fast Nicholas Jackson in action, and others such as Kalidou Koulibaly, Youssouf Sabaly and Idrissa Gueye means Senegal still has plenty of arguments in their favour if they can maintain focus. Those are all the local, international and sports stories for the day. For more updates, stay tuned and keep watching TTV.
You've just heard the live feed from the TTV studios on TFM 95.4. Let's talk.